According to social media, intermittent fasting is the best thing that you can do for your health. But also, according to social media and the internet in general, intermittent fasting is the worst thing that you can do for your health, especially in menopause, because we know that menopause changes everything. It changes how your body is handling insulin, it changes your sleep pattern and your sleep quality, it also changes your body composition. So, which is it? Now, I'm not here to tell you whether intermittent fasting is good or bad for you, but I would like to just give you some facts that are worth considering if you're going to try and do intermittent fasting. Number one, our bodies are more sensitive to insulin in the morning. And this is because our circadian rhythm not only regulates our sleep, but it also regulates our metabolic health. So, how your body is responding to insulin is also regulated by your circadian rhythm. Now, the menopausal body is already struggling with insulin sensitivity. As soon as we lose estrogen, our bodies become less sensitive to insulin and therefore less efficient at managing glucose. So, your body generally, for everybody, is more sensitive to insulin in the early part of the day. And when you think about intermittent fasting, what most people are doing is they're fasting in the early part of the day when your body is most sensitive to insulin, and then eating in the later part of the day when the body is less sensitive to insulin. Therefore, if you're doing that, let's say you're starting your meals from noon until 8 p.m., you're eating in the part of the day when your body is less efficient at managing glucose. So that's one consideration to take into account. Number two is cortisol tends to rise in the morning. So your cortisol levels are higher in the morning. Now, if you're in menopause, cortisol levels higher in the morning is already a stressor. Menopause itself is already a stressor. That means that if you're not eating until noon, your body's energy is coming from cortisol and not from food. So that's another consideration to take into account because you're stressing an already stressed body. Number three is that you need enough amounts of protein. For most people in menopause, we need about 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. That gives us about 120 grams of protein per meal. Now, if you're eating starting from noon to about 2 o'clock, most probably you're just getting about 2 meals. It's so hard to fit in about 120 grams of protein in just 2 meals. In fact, most of the people that I know who are nutritionists or doctors, that's why they say they stopped intermittent fasting because it's very hard to get the amount of protein that you need in just those 2 meals. Otherwise, that means that you'll be eating very late in the day. So that's another consideration to take into account. Now, what's better for you in menopause? Does fasting help? Yes, fasting helps, but not those restrictive fasting like intermittent fasting. What better works for menopause is what's known as time restricted eating or time restricted feeding. That means that you delay your breakfast just a tiny bit and then you finish your meals later. So you could do what's called the 12 to 12. So you have an eating window or about 12 hours and a window where you're not eating, which is about 12 hours, which is what 12 hours is the time that we are sleeping. We're finishing, let's say we're finishing our meal at 8 p.m. and then you're not eating again until 8 a.m. in the morning. So you're delaying your breakfast, not starting your breakfast at 6, but starting your breakfast at 8 a.m. and finishing your evening meal at 8 p.m. Now, also, the key is to also think about what you're breaking your fast with. If you're going to stay for 12 hours, the 12 hours that you're in sleep, and then delaying your breakfast until about 8 a.m., what you're breaking your fast with is important because that's the time when insulin can help you. Break your fast with a high protein food, good fiber, and healthy fats. and then keep that going. That will keep you going until your lunchtime meal, when you can have another good protein lunch with great fiber and also good fats. And then keep that going until it's time for dinner, when you have another good high protein meal with fiber and with fats. The longer you can keep those gaps between meals, the better it is for your insulin sensitivity. That means we try to avoid that constant snacking, and that stops the insulin spikes and glucose spikes. The longer you can keep your body without that glucose spike, that insulin spike, the better it is for your metabolic health. Also, the thing is that if you're eating properly, like if you're eating 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal with good fiber, good vegetables, and good fats, you're going to not be hungry until your next meal. And that keeps your body working on that energy until your next meal. So that's a much better approach for women in menopause, is not to restrict your food so much with intermittent fasting, but rather to keep your eating window to about 12 to 10 hours of an eating window, whereby you're eating good, healthy meals, three nice, healthy meals, avoiding snacking in between the meals, and also making sure that you're getting enough protein, enough fiber at every meal. One other thing that I like to let women know is that if you can eat really good fiber in the morning, what you're going to get is what's known as a second effect. So let's say I eat some vegetables with my omelette. Those vegetables will go to coat the lining of your intestines. That slows the release of glucose. And when that happens, you have that effect going on until you eat your second meal. Now, for that to happen, you need to eat meals that are what's known as viscous soluble fiber. Think of things like chia seeds. Chia seeds have that gooey kind of fiber. They when you mix them in water, they become really thick and gel-like. That's a really good fiber to have in the morning, because that will produce what's known as that second effect. That means that the digestive system will be coated with that gel like substance. And when you eat your meals, that slows down your glucose, and it also slows down your insulin spike. It helps your body better manage that glucose, helps the body better manage that insulin sensitivity, and that keeps going until you're ready to eat your next meal. The other thing that can help is eating your fiber first. So get those chia seeds soaked in water. You can soak them for many days. A chia seeds soaked in water or soaked in milk can stay in the fridge for quite a long time. Have a tablespoon of that, and of course you remember to hydrate enough, and then wait for about 10 minutes and have your breakfast of protein, maybe some more veggies, and maybe half an avocado. That will keep you going until it's lunchtime. You get that slow glucose release, slow insulin release, good fiber coating your digestive tract, and it will keep you satisfied until your next meal. So that's what I would suggest for women in menopause. Now, that viscous soluble fiber, you can get it from things like chia seeds. You can also get it from vegetables like okra. You can also get it from oats if you do eat oats in the morning. So it is important to make sure that you're working with your circadian rhythm, and also make sure that what you're breaking your fast with, and I don't mean that intermittent fasting, when you have not been eating while you're asleep, the first meal that you have of the day, that's what's known as breaking your fast. It doesn't mean that you're doing these long fasting sessions. Just starting out with a 12-12 window is very good. It's quite healthy. But as always, remember that the nutritional plan that is best for you, especially in menopause, is one that you can sustain for a long period of time, one that you can make a lifestyle, not something that's going to be a quick fix, because we know what happens with quick fixes. They are very quick, but we also get get lost somewhere in between, and we stop doing them after a while because they're too restrictive, they're too complicated, and we can't keep on with them. So the best meal plan is the one that you can use for a sustained long period of time. Now, the other thing that you need to do is make sure that you're strength training, because more muscle means that you have more sensitivity to insulin. Let me repeat that again. The more muscle you have, high quality lean muscle, the better your body is able to handle insulin. The better sensitivity to insulin your body is, because your body uses muscle as a glucose sink. When you have that glucose that's spiking up after your meals, your body uses the muscle to soak it up. So the better high quality muscle you have, that means lean muscle mass produced by strength training, the better your body can be able to handle that insulin. So strength training is a must if you're looking to keep those glucose levels low, to keep your body sensitive to insulin, and to also keep the better body composition. That means that your lean muscle mass, you don't have too much fat, your blood glucose is good, your blood pressure is good, and the fat that is circulating in your body is kept at a minimum. Your cholesterol levels are good. I hope that helps. Comment below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please remember to subscribe and also hit that bell so you can be notified when I post something. Please subscribe to the channel and share this with somebody else who is in menopause. Thank you so much.